Day. I'm the Grace Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today. We are going to get started on today's daily collective read in the next few minutes, but if you would like to get on the list for a personal reading, the list, as always, is open. As always, it is 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more, 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers, links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps. Those are pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. We are also doing 2 giveaways today. Our first giveaway is we will be doing a reading giveaway when we get to 50K likes. So make sure that you're tapping that screen. We will get to 50K in no time. Also, when you tap when you tap the screen, you will. It also encourages this app. This app. It's one of the. It will also encourage words. It will also encourage the app to push this out to those who have not received it before. So thank you so much for helping to share these messages. The other giveaway we'll be doing today is we will be doing a free reading for the highest gifter between now and the conclusion of the daily collective read. So wishing you a lot of luck if you're participating in that giveaway as well. Before we get started on today's daily collective read, I will be doing a brief recap to give you an update on what we've been seeing in the cards over the last few days. If you would like to catch any of those full readings, you can find them over on the place where we keep the videos. You can also find them over on the place where we keep the photos. You can also find them as a podcast over on my spot at Tarot Church and over my Substack. But first and foremost, most important question before we get started today. How are you guys doing? Scale of 1 to 10. No wrong answers, okay? There's a lot of Gemini energy happening right now, and it can be really, really exciting. It can be a lot of things happening at once, but I will also say when we've got this much Gemini energy flying around the ether, it is really, really important to set your own pace, to move with intention, and most importantly, not to get too hard on yourself, okay? We've been talking about this over the last few days. The thing with the Gemini energy, it's very, 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 very quick. If you are someone who carries a lot of that type of vibrancy in the space of excitement, it can be great. It can feel like a lot of fun. But if you carry it in the form of anxiety, it can lead to a little bit of a feeling of like your thoughts racing, feeling like you're not being able to keep pace with things. So if you're feeling like that right now, the grounding mantras I want you to be focusing on is I keep my own pace, okay? It's not a race, because the only thing about this is like I keep on seeing this, and I want to stress this even more, because if this is felt the last couple of days, like it got a little bit more intense. One of the things that I'm noticing right now, and I was actually picking it up, I had to like quickly look to see where it was coming from. There was like a lot of Virgo energy that was coming through in yesterday's reading. And the thing with the Virgo energy is, and here's the thing with it, it can create a little bit more intensity in this energy, because often when we're working through Virgo lessons, the feeling or the sense of perfection can frequently come up, okay? This is not the type of energy, okay? I got to stress this. This is not, now is not the time in this type of energy to start focusing or building into worry about perfection. I want you to remember, perfection is a location. It is a destination. It is a cardinal direction, okay? It is not something that you can find on the map. But the thing is, with all of this Gemini energy flying around, it can feel like there's a lot going on at once. It's literally the type of energy that is created to make one feel like one can't keep up with things, okay? So to add to that, to add some of that Virgo moon energy in there at the same time that we're feeling a lot of this vibrancy or this activation with the Gemini energy, I don't want you getting too hard on yourself right now, okay? It's not a race. You keep your own pace. It's also because of the fact that it's not to help matters right now, but we got Venus and Chiron that are like this right now. They're like right on top of each other, as well as Neptune, nap. Yes, let's all take naps. Neptune and Saturn that are also in very close proximity. What can this do? A lot of issues potentially still coming through as it relates to feelings around the past, right? When Neptune and Saturn are in proximity to each other, we have a lot of those feelings and relationality to recognizing like the emotions that we carry with us through time, like it's a lot of that I've never let go of that kind of energy. Okay. And with Venus next to Chiron, it can sometimes make wounds of the heart feel like they amplify, right? So I want to, if you're feeling like this right now, if this feels a little bit intense for you, what are we going to do right now? We are going to take a page from the Taurus book, okay? We're going to learn from the lesson of the previous cycle, working into the space, treating the self, right? Being compassionate to the self, giving the self the same amount of compassion that you may give to another person isn't selfish. That is balanced. All right. Now, this is having a different impact depending on where one finds oneself on the frequency cycles. Now, for masculine and feminine energy that is in separation, I keep on seeing that the word that keeps on coming through right now is restoration. But why is the word restoration arriving right now as we see so much of the work that these magician partnerships are doing in relationality to healing the heart space? It's restoring, but we've also got that sense of frustration. So for a lot of the energy right now, coming into union is actually feeling like an act of restoration because it's the journey of finding oneself again. If these were situations or circumstances wherein these are relationships where someone is healing, not because they could not maintain a relationship from the past, but in order to do so, they would have had to disassociate too much from who they were, right? It was like a lot of that feeling of having to like abandon the self in order to maintain a partnership. We just keep on seeing that for a lot of the relationships in that modality right now, that ability to identify and recognize the reorientation that is occurring via the magician partnerships coming into a space of one's authenticity, right? Not feeling like one is perfect, but understanding what one's energetic assignment is, doing that work, trying to move towards one's sense of center. This is a lot of the energy that's starting to feel the reinforcement there via the healthy counterpart, wherein they're even healing by conversations of contradiction, something that they're saying to another person that another person is correcting them on, potentially a false experience of self or a false perception of self. But something about that reorientation, right? That balancing point, it's allowing for a lot of healing to happen, but it's also potentially very painful at the same time. Why is it painful? Because this is the energy that is coming into union. And what is the song that they're hearing? There was nothing wrong with me, right? When we feel like we're too much in those unhealthy relationships, that it feels to the experience of feeling like you're being criticized constantly, or you feel like someone is trying to move you into spaces that you don't desire to be. You can feel like that contortion moment. But it's one of the beautiful messages I keep on seeing that's happening right now with all of this Gemini energy is relationships are not as a place of stagnancy. We go into relationships to grow, to evolve, to change, right? But when we're in the healthy relationship, that feels like a flourishing. It feels like an expansion point. But when we're in the unhealthy relationship, it can feel often like a contortion. So this is a lot of the magician energy that is healing from relationships that feel like they were contorting or distorting the self. And that's not easy because something about coming back into that alignment place is healing from the feeling that there was something wrong with the self in the first place. Now, that's why we keep on seeing like a lot of this work. Like that's why I keep on hearing the word restorational, because when we're restoring in that way, it's not easy, but we know that it is best for us. It's nourishing to the self, even if it is difficult. Now, this brings us to a lot of the energy that is coming into divine union. And a lot of the same work is happening in one way, but the thing that we're seeing that's happening is this has to do with healing from past experiences. For a lot of the relationships that are moving into divine union right now, what we are effectively identifying that is occurring is these are situations or circumstances wherein we see that for a lot of those relationships, the peace, being able to find and navigate the peace that they're discovering in partnership, it feels like it is expansive. It could even feel like a very surreal time for a lot of the energy that's in that modality right now. Why is it a surreal time? Because that ability of seeing the possibilities that are opening up, it's almost like they're seeing a whole world that's opening up before them that they could not see before. But it's a recognition point of being able to let go or move away from something that did not feel like it served the self. That's never easy work, right? Because that modality of doing so, I keep on seeing there's a lot of the energy that's potentially forgiving themselves for past versions of self. Why are they forgiving themselves for past version of self? Because if these are relationships or situations wherein, again, they had to work to have boundaries up, they're now doing that hard work and learning to put the boundaries down, learning to come back into the space of being able to heal and going into deeper vulnerability. But this is like they're observing, I keep on hearing this is the 2 to Saturn transiting into Aries. They're observing the irony of the fact that healing is not linear, because this is the energy that's recognizing that the same thing that allowed them to find union, right? All of those strong boundaries, they're now recognizing that they need to take them down in order to facilitate deeper connection. So for a lot of the energy right now, doing that work, right? Finding the ability to put like it's half the battle is being able to put up a healthy standard. The other half is learning how to release it. This is a lot of the energy that's learning to put those weapons down. They're learning to build into that deeper sense of vulnerability, but it's hard. It feels like almost at that point, I almost feel like the energy that is coming into divine union is moving out of high priestess energy and into strength, which makes a lot of sense given the fact that we're moving into the Sagittarius full moon in a few days, which is we're going to be talking a lot about that strength card. This brings us to a lot of the energy deep within divine union. And for a lot of the energy deep within divine union right now, I just keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy in that space, this work deep within divine union is, it's very, I keep on seeing it's very nuanced. It's taking very nuanced approaches to things. It's observing, and there could even be a lot of refining of manifestation goals that are happening at this time. Because again, what did that last full moon bring? We observed that that Scorpio full moon in Taurus helped us recognize the path of change. Now, for a lot of the energy deep within divine union, working through and recognizing that path of change, this is also identifying the ability of seeing how, what happens as we move towards manifestation goals is it's not uncommon for our manifestation goals to change, because a healthy manifestation goal isn't about attaining things, it's about seeing something. So as you often proceed towards a manifestation goal, you see things that you couldn't see before and you change in the process. So often, the manifestation goal feels like, I keep on hearing the recognition of the transformational aspect of a manifestation goal, in that it always feels it's a little bit out of one's own purview, because even as you arrive to it, you feel like it's already changing. So the observation of identifying and recognizing that force of change, this could be leading to a lot of nuanced approaches in terms of adjusting manifestation goals, but adjusting manifestation goals respective of how far one has changed in relationship itself, the context by which a relationship changes us, and then the manifestation goals that we have alter on the process of it, right? So it's the alteration of the alteration that allows for new possibilities to emerge. So I see even now, like a lot of that work that's occurring, it feels transformative, right? It feels profound. It's a moment of potentially like contemplating, articulating what those adjustments are, but doing so again from a place of strength, right? It's the confidence in being able to address and see something with a lot of that determination, which we will talk a lot about. We're going to talk a lot about that when we come into this Sagittarius new moon that's just a few days away. That is where we find all of the energy prior to beginning today's daily collective read. Now, if you would like to catch that full reading, you can find it over on the place where we keep the videos. You can also find it over on the place where we keep the photos. You can also find it as a podcast over on my spot at Tarot Church and over on my Substack. That said, we are going to get started on today's daily collective read in the next few minutes. But if you would like to get on the list for a personal reading, the list, as always, is open. And as always, the first person on the list will always have an additional card in their spread. 3 cards for a donation of $29 or more. 4 cards for a donation of $23 or more for my subscribers. Links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps. Those are pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. I'm going to take a few minutes to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading, but let me know how you're feeling in this energy. I know, and again, if it's all across the board, I know some are doing great in it, some are feeling a little bit more overwhelmed. Every answer is fine. Hi there, 555. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Becoming Mimo. How are you doing today, Anthony? Welcome, Sabrina and Tanya. Hi there, Grumpy. Welcome, Coach. Hi there, Erin. Good to see you today. Yep, we're on a little bit early today, Rainbow. Good to see you, and thank you so much for the heart me's. Guys, please remember to recharge your heart me's today if you'd like to have an additional animal spirit guide reading in your subscriber readings. Hi there, Twirling. Thank you for the follow. And Ducky, thank you for the gifts. Hi there, Anthony. About to give you... You're going to give me an update on what we've been seeing in the cards over the last few days. Is that a threat? Are we rolling like that? Is that the day we're having today? Hi there, Jopo. How are you doing today, Little Hawk? Thank you for the compliment, Erin. I spoke some truth last night about confusion. I typically feel terrible about sharing needs. Good job. Continue to do that work, dear. A 4 or 5, that, we want to get that up there. We want to get up. We can get better from there, little Hawk. Good place to start the day. Hi there, Julie. Things are 5. Things are intense and crazy. I'm grounding myself enough not to crash out. That's exactly what we like to see, Julie. Hanging out at a 5, just bobbing along. Virgo energy. Okay, that's good. We like that, Erin. We like that. We're going to panic and have a meltdown and then shut down completely, right? No, we are not going to do that. We are not going to do that, okay? Well, you see, I can already see, right? It's a little bit, I can see this, like, I see, I get it. I understand how we're feeling right now. I told you guys, right? I told you that, like, a lot of Gemini energy right now. I can, it's like that scene from I Dream of Jeannie. No, not I Dream of Jeannie. I Love Lucy, with like the conveyor belt. You know what I mean? It's like the conveyor belt that keeps going, and you're like, what do I do with this? Hi, Athena. I'm a Taurus. Hot salt bath, aromatherapy. Relax the mind. Precisely. You got it. That's a perfect thing to be doing right now, Athena. Good to see you today. Hi there, Audrey. Grand Rising, Fig. Good to see you today. Thank you for those. Thank you for those suns, Heather. And thank you for the gifts. Hi there, Kitty Ninja. Thank you for the follow, Sarah. Can anyone ask questions? Of course, you can ask any question you like, Sarah. But if you want a reading, with cards, you have to get on the list for, and that requires a donation. Patience is key, Audrey, but even more so, patience with the self is key. Not just patience with others, patience with the self. Hi there. How are you doing today, Dandy? Cool to look at the connections across groups of 7 in majors. High Priestess, Hermes Tower. That's beautiful. That's a very good point. No, I mean, there's definitely a connection point between those 3 cards. Magician. Yep. You got it. Absolutely. Yep. And it's interesting too, because it talks about balance, right? It talks about like working in the space of balance when you look at those cards together. Yep. I'm feeling great, trying to embody patience for the process. I'm very glad to hear that. Some of the parallels feel odd, like others would match better. Well, and I got to point out, and this is something I look into a lot too, Rainbow, in other decks, the numeric values change. It's interesting to see where we are today versus where some of the other decks were in terms of the numerological placements of the pathwork. Um, Grand Rising, little vamp. I'm much better after your read yesterday. That took weight off my shoulders. I'm so glad to hear that, Fig. I hope you're doing well today. Grand Rising, Team Olsana. Yes, self-compassion too. Absolutely, Audrey. Hi there, Rainbow. Heather inserts well-known therapy meme into chat. Watches Sin react exactly as meme dictates. I mean, like, I've never done the moment, but it was like, that's how the meme works. Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you, Fig. What you said matches the vibe of the person's communication yesterday. I hope it helped. I do. And I got to tell you, like it's working into the context of patience right now. You have to you have to take the approach that everybody is going through it right now. You know, what you're like, it's not exclusive. It's not exclusive. As long as you remember it's not exclusive, everything will be fine. Thank you as well, Little Van, for the gifts. As I mentioned, friends, we are going to get started on today's daily collective read in the next few minutes. If you would like to get on the list is open. 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more, 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers, thanks to my Lio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I don't read for across these apps, pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. A couple of updates before we get started on today's daily collective read. First and foremost, thank you to everyone who attended our recent class on the death card. Our next class is going to be held on Wednesday, June 11th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be continuing our studies into the tarot with a focus on the Temperance card. If you would like to be a part of our tarot class program, all you need to do is mosey on over to my Substack and become a paid subscriber. Your paid subscription to my Substack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. You will also, as a monthly subscriber, have access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library class archive. Now, it's not necessary for you to catch up. I will be doing my best to give you an update on everything that we've studied in the classes prior to the next one. But if you wanted to catch up, now is a great time to join. You'll have about a week or 2 to be able to catch a few classes before we move into the next class. You'll also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions that you may have in relation to anything we are studying or have learned thus far. And if you become a founding member to my Substack, not only will you receive a discount on the full year's worth of classes, you will also receive a complimentary one-on-one mentorship class with me, wherein I will meet with you personally to to assess where you are on your tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best of your advantage towards your personal tarot goals. You'll also have full access to the entirety of the Tarot Church Library class archive. That is access to over 14 hours worth of material in an ever-expanding library. One of the things I tried to do with these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. Don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience prevent you from joining us in these classes. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber to my Substack, I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new to stay up to date on any new offerings or services. I also post my weekly newsletter there, which will let you know about my in-person events as well as my online live schedule. You will also have access to my mystic meditation articles. I have an article that I just recently posted walking you guys through how to channel the messages or how to utilize the energy of this recent Gemini new moon towards your manifestation goals. You'll also be able to find the full photo of each day's spreads. I post them there with the podcast, and you can find all of that over on the Substack. So make sure that you're following me there as well. That said, I also want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my clients seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal spiritual goals and journey work. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits. Also, for my clients that are seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. I'm also very happy to now offer dream interpretation readings. You can purchase these per dream on one like on a per dream level, or you can purchase the class as a series. Now, if you purchase the dream interpretation reading series, I would strongly encourage you to start to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly or bi-weekly with that journal, utilizing the tarot to understand the key themes and messages coming towards you in the dream space. As I mentioned, we are going to get started on today's daily collective read. In the next few minutes, the list is open. Whoever is the first person on the list will always have an additional card in their reading. We are also doing 2 giveaways today. The first one is a free reading for the highest gifter between now and the conclusion of the daily collective read. The other giveaway we're doing is we will be doing a reading giveaway when we get to 50K likes. So make sure that you're tapping that screen. We will get to 50K in no time. Also, when you tap the screen, it encourages the app to push this reading out to those who have not received it before. So thank you so much for doing in your part in helping to share these messages. Also, if you're joining us across any of the other apps, you can also get on the list today via my tree that has links in it in my bio. That said, I am going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as I was giving those updates. Hi there, little hawk. Thank you so much for those roses. Oh, and thank you for the compliment on my shirt. I hope you're having a beautiful day today, 2 a.m. Thank you so much as well for the gifts, Little Vamp, and thank you as well, Rainbow. As I mentioned, hi there, Haley. I'm having a beautiful start to my day. How are you doing? We were just talking about this energy right now. It's a little bit back and forth, but I'm very much looking forward to what we're going to be seeing in the cards today, because I think one of the things that we're starting to gear up for is the Sagittarius full moon that's coming up. It's going to be like it's going to be a lot, right? It's going to be a lot, but I think that it's also going to be very fortifying. That said, as I mentioned, if you guys could do me a favor and share the live, I would appreciate it. Make sure anyone who would like to be here to catch this reading live is here to receive it. I know you're doing well back and forth. Yeah. And I told you guys, like I was talking about this yesterday, the thing about it, and this is the thing with the Gemini energy, it can feel like a little bit of a grab bag. That's why I was trying to say yesterday, like, I'm keep on saying like eclipse rules apply right now, because how you're feeling today might be very different from how you're feeling tomorrow, right? Making sure that you're being consistent in the wake of change. Okay. That doesn't mean that you can't be adaptable, right? It doesn't mean that you can't be spontaneous. The key word is making sure that you're doing so with intention. That said, no better time than the present. Why don't we get started? Welcome, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I'm the Grace Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Tuesday, June 3rd, 2025. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? May I please have the first 2 cards in our 5-card spread? First 2 cards we are starting our day off with today are our 7 of Swords in its reversal, in combination with our Ace of Pentacles in its upright. Let's talk a little bit about this energy right now, okay? And I'm going to say this again. All right, this is going to be your daily reminder. I'm going to keep on saying this as we navigate through all of this energy being in Gemini right now. Eclipse rules apply right now, okay? Eclipse rules apply. Why do eclipse rules apply? If you have been here before, you know what I mean by eclipse rules apply. This energy is very similar to the energy that we would typically expect during an eclipse. Why is it very much like during an eclipse? Because one of the things I like to clarify, I feel like there's often a mislabeling of eclipse energy as being chaotic. Eclipse energy is not necessarily chaotic. It is unpredictable. Those are different things because it amplifies things. Okay, it takes something small and it makes it bigger. Okay, so navigating that change, this is why we sometimes feel that like inclination to make big changes during eclipse cycles, right? It's like that small thing that feels like it grows. Sometimes it creates that moment of wanting to move away from it because you're feeling energetically frustrated instead of moving with intention. Okay, often the way that, like, recognizing and working through adaptability and change is often something that we often have to experience during eclipse cycles, because it is the change that we experience in the amplification of the energy that is something that we need to kind of regulate for. Now, we've got right now Gemini energy is all about change. It is the change energy. It is change often, and this is why you sometimes recognize that Geminis have to work through the space of learning that change is not a manifestation goal, right? That working into like being intentional, even as we are adaptable, is the difference between pragmatism and fickleness, right? Because what is pragmatism? Pragmatism is being very adaptable as one works towards a manifestation goal. Being fickle is being too changeable, right? It's often feeling like that space of not being able to stay intentional in relationality to what you're doing or where you're going. Now, for the energy that we're having here, this is why, and again, I was making the joke like last week. I'm sure you heard me say that when we were going through that moment that Mercury was in Taurus and Saturn was transiting into Aries, I'm like, it feels awful Mercury retrograde in here, right? It felt like a pseudo Mercury retrograde because things were slowing down and a lot of the past rising up to the surface. We've got like a pseudo eclipse happening now. Because again, if you were to say to me, you know, if you could have an eclipse without having an eclipse, what would you do? I'm like, I would take all the planets and stick them in Gemini and just shake the jar. You know what I mean? Like just shake the jar. Because it can create that same sense of feeling like you're not, like it's that hurry up energy. Why do you feel like you're hurrying? I don't know, right? We're feeling that frustration point because we've also got a lot of planets in Aries right now. So that's why I said, depending on how you carry this feeling, it's either translating into a lot of excitement, a lot of anticipation. But but if you are someone who has a tendency of carrying that in the form of anxiety, it can create a lot of that right now. That's why I was articulating and saying it was really important to make sure that you enter this like frequency via focusing on the manifestation goals. Like let the manifestation goals guide you right now if you are feeling this, because the other thing that's happening right now that may have occurred over the last couple of days, and I actually picked up on it like yesterday. I was like, what the heck is happening? I had to go look I had to go look at what was happening, because the thing that you want to like avoid right now is not feeling like not working on the fact that you're not perfect. Okay, we got the moon right now in Virgo. And the thing is, Gemini energy, like pinball energy, it's often dealing with the array, right? It's often dealing with like working in the context of a lot of things happening at once. So, working in terms of like not getting overly perfect in the space of adaptability, right? Like, there's a lot of like, I feel like there could be these moments right now of feeling frustrated as it relates to feelings like I keep on saying connecting the dots, not missing the mark. Okay. That's what we have to basically work on right now. So if you're feeling like this, I don't want you to get like frustrated at yourself. I don't want you to get mad at yourself, because this type of energy can be very productive, but it's very easy in this same energy to start getting very hard on yourself. Center card in our 5 card spread for today is, we got here our 10 of Wands in its upright. Now, a lot of this, and again, and the one thing I do think that and the reason I'm also saying that this is very important right now is, and I feel like, again, one of the things that can help with some of this energy, if you're experiencing this at this time, is taking a page from the recent lesson, coming through the space of identifying this, right? When we start getting too hard on the self, we can take a lesson from Taurus energy, which is, again, slow and steady. I keep pace. I set my pace, right? It's not a race. Moving into, right? Like moving into that space of like operating within one's own majesty, operating within one's most own appreciation of self, right? Coming into the space of holding the self with compassion is how we're going to regulate through too much of this energy that may feel at times like it's overwhelming the self. So if you're feeling like this, I don't want you to speed things up. I want you to slow things down. Okay? I want you to move with intention. And that doesn't mean that you cannot be spontaneous in energy like this. With intention is pragmatism. Okay? Changing for change's sake is an aversion to being frustrated. That is fickleness. Heavy lessons that often those with Gemini placements have to work through. So remembering that, like, don't get too hard on yourself, especially, and I got to say this, especially with the fact that Neptune and Saturn are like this right now, especially if you're seeing something in hindsight, especially if you're seeing something in hindsight, because that, like, I'm going to tell you right now, there's a little bit of this like craning neck energy right now. Okay. There's a little bit. I just keep on seeing this with Neptune, like Neptune behind Saturn, going like, "What are you doing back there?" It's a lot of that. Okay, move forward with intention, and don't get too caught up in being too hard on yourself about the past. All right. Fourth and fifth card in our 5-card spread, we've got here our Hermit card in its upright in combination with our Four of Wands in its reversal. So one of the things that we're seeing right now, I feel like the message is coming through is, and I keep on hearing, like, the thing with this Gemini energy that can be a little bit difficult is it can create a lot in the space of racing thoughts. Okay. It can create a lot in the space of racing thoughts. So they're saying even now, like, let this also be a time that you kind of just slow your mind through those things. Okay. It's not, and I keep on seeing, like, especially, and here's the thing about it. I like to describe it like this: Gemini energy is about connecting dots. That's why I call it pinball energy. That's why I call it, it's very dynamic like that. This is also why it can sometimes be hard to it, like, I would say, like, astrologically, it can be very hard to describe Geminis, because, like, one of the things about Geminis is no two Geminis are alike. You know what I mean? Like, it's about dealing in the multifaceted. It's about dealing in the space of the array, right? And that's why even, like, that eclecticness that we often articulate, that's why you often hear those others who, like, describe Gemini as like a jack of all trades, because it's that feeling of being able to, like, do a lot of things at once, right? Being multifaceted. Um, and that's why I kept on saying, for those with Gemini right now, those who carry a lot of Gemini placements, this might actually be exciting. This could be like, for those with Gemini placements right now, this could feel a lot like the season, as it were. I kept on telling you guys, I was worried for Pisces during their season, because there were too many planets that were moving out of the house of Pisces during Pisces season. So it could have brought up a lot of abandonment wounds. I was really worried for those with Taurus placements during Taurus season, because with too many planets in Aries, it could make the Taurus feel like there's red flags everywhere. I'm not too worried about Gemini right now. The thing I got to say about Gemini is the same thing that I would always say to a Gemini, which is making sure that you're being pragmatic and not fickle. Like, Like that's the important thing. But Geminis always work in that capacity. They come here to work through that. So I feel like it's not so much of a, it's, it might be a little bit easier for Gemini because this could be feeling a little bit more like excitement. But for a lot, for if you're not someone who's got a lot of Gemini placements right now, this can feel a little messy, right? Because it's making you have to work on the array. It's making you have to look at the bigger picture on things. And especially, and this is why I keep on seeing this is like the hard part of this energy right now, because with the moon in Virgo, Virgo is like all about fine tuning. Virgo is about like exacting energy. Okay. Virgo is like is working on the minute, right? Like Virgo is working on the perfection. Gemini is working on the big picture. So if you're feeling this right now, this is why I'm going to say for everything, please be kind to yourself right now. Okay? You go at your own pace and you're doing the best that you can, and that is just fine. Okay? Like now, continuing to get clarification between, and that's the thing about it, because and I got to point this out, like, this is why I'm saying that, because with the combination of the Hermit card with the Four of Wands, it can often be a lot of over concentration on how you could do something better. And again, and so I want to say, take this energy, be solution focused, don't be problem oriented. Okay, solution focused, not problem oriented. Continuing to get clarification right now between our Seven of Swords and its reversal in combination with our Ace of Pentacles in its upright. One card to clarify, please. Clarification coming through right now with our Temperance card. And I love to see this card here. This is actually the card that we're going to be studying at our Tarot Church class that is going to be held on Wednesday, June 11th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. If you'd like to become a part of that class program, all you need to do is head over to my Substack and become a paid subscriber. That's your ticket to the class. What did I just say you have to do with an energy like this? Okay? Don't focus too much on the past. Focus on the present. And I know, again, like the thing about this is the other thing I'm seeing here, and it has to do with Neptune being in such close proximity to Saturn. Like it can be like, I keep on hearing, it's like cue the violins to a certain extent. It can feel a little bit like too much of an over concentration on like the past, and over concentration on something you wish you could do better. And I'm going to say this again, if these are moments or modalities, right, like the song we often hear as we're moving towards healing is, I could have done that better, right? It's like that is the vibration of working into the context of recognizing what one can change. So that ability of being adaptable, that ability of being able to work on the fine tuning of the self right now, building into the affirmations, right? Building into that degree of being able to recognize what one is working on. This is potentially like, it's good. I keep on hearing it's good energy for fine tuning. It's bad energy for tuning violins. Okay, like it's working into the space. It's working into the space of identifying, right? It's identifying what one is hoping to do better, right? It's not the time in terms of over concentrating on what is not working. Okay. Now, continuing, this is having a different impact depending on where you find yourselves on the frequency cycles. As I mentioned, there's a lot of this energy right now, the energy in separation that's working into new partnership, right? This is why I was seeing that these are magician partnerships, because I keep on hearing the key word right now is restoration. Why do we keep on hearing the word restoration for a lot of those energies in separation? Because for a lot of the energy doing that work, identifying and recognizing that this is the path of change. There's a lot of energy that's coming into new partnerships right now via V, identifying and finding the authenticity of the self, right? But coming into the space of finding one's authenticity, what happens when we find our authenticity? We stop energetically pretending that we're something that we're not. This is a lot of energy that's potentially moving away from relationships wherein they may have felt like they were contorting, or they would have had to contort too much to be able to stay in a relationship where there was too much criticism, right? It's the identification of the lesson. We keep on getting this lesson coming through the frequencies that we don't go into relationship to stay stagnant. Relationship is where we grow together. It's where we change together. But when we're in healthy relationship, that is the transformation that we often feel, that feels like the evolution of the self, right? It is the opening of the self that feels like that act of becoming. But when we're in unhealthy relationship, it can often feel like we are contorting, that we're changing in ways that doesn't feel like it's ideal or aspirational to the self. And that's why I see that there's a lot of pain point that may be coming up as it relates to these new relationships that are building right now, because it is talking about the fact, like, this is the energy. I almost hear the energy saying, I would do things for love, but I wouldn't do that, right? Like, that is the conversation that is happening in relationality, to the observation that a healthy relationship should not require one to change in a way that is not in alignment to the self. And so I keep on seeing that these are the energies that are healing right now. But how are they healing? They're healing from the restoration of contradiction, which, if these are relationships where they're articulating upon what occurred in past relationship that caused the dissolution of the relationship, right? A lot of the energy talking about the work that they tried to put into fixing something, but then they identified and said, I simply could, like, and I feel like this is even the pain, like they're forgiving each other, because this is the energy that's almost saying to one another as they're coming into union, there was a path work that I potentially could have restored something, but I would have had to lose the self in the process. And this is the energy that is reaffirming to one another that the healthy relationship should never feel like one is losing oneself to save it. It should feel like you're finding oneself as you move towards it. And this is what we're seeing that's happening right now for a lot of that energy that's coming into union. These are those chariot partnerships that we're forming from between the time of the Mars, from between the time that Mars stationed direct up until the time that Mercury and Venus woke up behind Neptune. And for a lot of the energy, like that observational, that same lesson, that the healthy relationship is one that helps us see ourselves with clarity, even navigating the surrealness of what they are discovering there. This is the energy that is understanding. They're working through that hard lesson, that the reason that we say that healing is linear, is not linear, is because there is a season for everything. And this is the energy that's learning that the same work that they had to do to hold the standards in order to find the relationship now are the same things that they're working to remove to build deeper into partnership, right? That when we're in spaces of trauma, we have to become strong. And so this is a lot of the energy. I keep on hearing the energy coming into divine union right now is shifting out of high priestess into strength, because they're learning that strength isn't just being strong all the time. It's learning how, like, when to be strong and when to be vulnerable, because that is the strength, the force of intention. While for masculine and feminine energy, that is deep within divine union, this is a lot of the energy clarification right now between our Ace of Pentacles and our 10 of Wands in its upright. We've got here the Empress card. I like it. I like it. Okay, I can see that happening. That makes a lot of sense. There's something important that I see is occurring right now as it relates to Empress energy. And I think it's interesting too, because especially with, it's something important that I'm seeing with the combination of the Temperance card with the Empress card. And a lot of that, I keep on saying, a lot of that force is we were talking about the fact that for a lot of the energy right now, deep within divine union, it was working into the context of the justice card previous to this. What I'm basically seeing that's happening right now for a lot of the energy moving deep within divine union, it's working on, I keep on seeing the incredible, I keep on hearing the incredible miracle of a manifestation that continually changes, right? And it has to do with the fact that, often the sign that we've moved into a manifestation is not necessarily coming into the manifestation. It is the identification point of the manifestation that changes, because we talk a lot here about the fact that the reason that manifestations are not wishes is because we change as we move towards them, right? It's not about gimme, it's about helping me see. So when we're able to see something, this is why often when we're on that journey of trying to find something, what we're looking for changes, because as we transform on the path of that journey, we suddenly identify that we are no longer the same person that we are when it began. And this is what we talk about the fact that the healthy relationship is one that cannot just, that isn't a place of stagnancy. It navigates the force of that evolution. It navigates the force of that change, because I keep on hearing that this is the energy that is experiencing the manifestation churn. Oh, they said churn. The manifestation churn that occurs in the blush of becoming, right? So when we have that moment and we become, as we open, we start to reach for something different, right? So it is the transformation of the transformation. This is why I would not be surprised right now if there's a lot of energy deep within divine union that is either, again, the Scorpio full moon that we experienced in Taurus, being able to navigate the path of change. And then in the wake of navigating the path of change, honoring the self in terms of how far one has come with counterpart, identifying and recognizing how you see that the manifestations are also evolving, right? The changing of the manifestation goal that matures with the journey of the self in the process. Continuing to get clarification between our 10 of Wands in combination with our Hermit card and its upright. Can I get one card to clarify, please? Clarification coming through right now with our King of Pentacles in its reversal. So with the King of Pentacles in its reversal, this is having a different impact right now on masculine and feminine energy. We already got another card coming out. I'm going to put that here. I think it goes in alignment with this. For masculine and feminine energy, bearing in mind this is not based on gender, but what one feels most aligned to. Everything I keep on identifying that's occurring here has a lot to do with the appreciation. I keep on seeing it has to do with the appreciation of the self in the context of recognizing how far one has come. Now, I like this because it does feel like an energetic maturation point, especially with the Temperance card here. And this is feeling very, so for feminine energy, this is what I keep on seeing. This is a lot of that space that I'm identifying that feels like I keep on seeing for feminine. This feels like I keep on hearing. It's interesting because for the energy in separation, I'm hearing restoration. For energy deep within divine union, I'm hearing reclamation. Right? Why am I hearing reclamation for energy deep within divine union? Because for a lot of the energy deep within divine union, that ability of identifying, that ability of reclaiming something for the self, building into that appreciation, honoring the work, honoring the patience there. This is a lot of the feminine energy that I see, even in the space of, and I keep on hearing, like, even in the space of potentially overthinking, this is the feminine energy learning to bring compassion to the self. And I keep on hearing that this is the feminine energy that's healing by way of understanding. I keep on hearing it is not selfish to ask for something that you would give another person, right? This is how we heal from people pleasing. This is how we heal from that feeling of overgiving. Because when we look at something, right, when we identify something as selfish, Selfish would be the identification point of something that is exclusive to the self, right? It is exclusive to something that only one aspires for the self. But this is why I keep on seeing that there's a lot of this energy of the feminine working in the context of reclaiming the compassion for the self, because I just keep on hearing the feminine saying it's not selfish to give something to the self that one would give another. That is being compassionate to the self. Okay. Now, for masculine, this is a lot of the masculine that is working less on the space of the, I keep on saying this is masculine pushing through the force of their own inclinations. This is a lot of the masculine that is working on the power of identifying. I keep on hearing, and this is like why I keep on hearing masculine right now is in chariot energy. Why is masculine in chariot energy? Masculine energy is in chariot energy right now because that ability to effectively work in terms of being able to hold back the inclination of the self, right? That first, I keep on hearing that first instinct, right? To move forward, right? This is often how we come into a point of strength, because I keep on hearing, like, when we feel that, like when we feel that push, right? When we feel that provocation point, but we work on, again, I keep on hearing this is masculine that's learning stoicism. Okay. It's not the stoicism that effectively says that the stoicism doesn't say disassociate, stop yourself from feeling. Stoicism says feel everything, but don't be controlled by your feelings, right? Because there's a difference. I keep on hearing the masculine that is learning the difference between stoicism and disassociation, right? Stoicism is not about becoming a stone, right? Stoicism is not about removing emotionality from the construct of the masculine. Stoicism is often interpreted as that, but it's not correct. That is disassociation. Non attachment is not the space of not feeling things. Non attachment is the space of being able to feel everything, but not being controlled by the forces within. Because when we're able to feel everything, but not be led by them, then we find strength of the self with like without. Continuing to get clarification for between our Hermit card and our Four of Wands in its reversal. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming through right now with our Page of Swords in its reversal. So I keep on seeing that, one of the things I keep on, and this is really important right now, because I just got to tell you, like, the thing that makes me like a little bit concerned, okay? The thing that makes me a little bit concerned in this energy that we're feeling right now is it's really easy to get your wires crossed. All right, I'm just going to say this. It's very easy right now to get your wires crossed because with a combination, okay, with a combination of Gemini and Aries, it's very easy to take something the wrong way. It's very easy to misinterpret something. And so I keep on seeing that something that keeps on coming through is give others and even yourself, giving yourself the benefit of the doubt, giving others the benefit of the doubt. Because the thing is, especially with all of this Gemini energy, it's very easy. I keep on hearing. So it's very easy when when dots are being connected for wires to get crossed, right? To come into like a lot of that work as it relates to like something you're doing, like it's like a lot of this. So and that's why I keep on seeing like this is not, I keep on getting, this is not table flipping energy. Okay. This is not the time. All right. This is not the time to be like this right now. Okay. Because I know that there is that inclination there. I know that there's a lot like and this is the thing that we have to be conscientious about with the fact that we've got so many planets in Gemini right now and so many planets in Aries. Okay. Because when we've got the thing about Gemini and Aries is they've got a little bit of an issue related to lessons around Saturn. Okay, and Saturn just transited into Aries. Why? Because Aries are always here to work through lessons of Saturn. This is why you probably know an Aries, and they're like every Aries you've ever met, I guarantee, is probably clock obsessed, right? They're always, they always are looking to try to do something faster. They're always looking, they're always feeling like they're running up against the clock. Okay. Aries are like, they're like, the clock, it's like, right. Like Aries are always like, you know what I mean? Gemini, okay. Gemini are always looking at things and being like, I could be doing something else right now. Gemini are always like, I could be doing something else right now. So that's why I'm going to say this. I am telling you right now, that's what I meant about the fact that you have to look at energy like this. And I'm going to tell you, my eclipse rules apply. And if you're just joining us for the first time, you'll know that with Gemini, whenever we're in eclipses, I probably start to sound like a broken record because you have to listen when we're going through these, because it's very important. It's very important to recognize the difference between changing for the sake of a manifestation goal. Okay, changing because you see a manifestation and you say, okay, I need to change to move towards that, right? It's adaptability. That is pragmatic, being like, look, we can do this. There's a better way. There's got to be a better way, right? There's got to be a better way, right? The change that says there's got to be a better way, all right? Like, oh, I just like, again, a breakthrough, right? A brainstorm. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of that idea energy. No barnstorming. No, forget this. Let's knock it down. Like, you know what I mean? Like none of this, like pushing something away. Because again, remember, like working in that context, it's like I keep on hearing breaking things is not a manifestation goal. Okay. It's like working towards aversion or frustration. I don't want you coming to me for a reading and be like, I was really, why'd you do that? And you're going to look at me and be like, I don't know. I was really upset. I needed a change. And I'm going to be like, you let the Gemini energy get to you. Of course you needed a change. And we got all the planets are in Gemini. Okay. It's like, it's like productive change, please. Productive change. Okay. Think about and I'm not saying right now, I'm not saying you can't be spontaneous in this energy, but please be productive in your spontaneity. Okay. Because if you're going to do something on the feeling right now, we're in Gemini. Tomorrow you might be feeling a completely different way. Okay. Continuing to get clarification between our temperance energy and our empress energy. I love these two cards together, by the way. I love, again, if you have a chance today, make sure you stop over when we post this to the Substack so you can see the full spread. We've got a beautiful trine right now between temperance, ace of pentacles, and empress. This is what I like to see. This is what I like to see. And I'm going to tell you right now, listen, a little bit easier right now for feminine energy today, a little bit rougher for masculine. Okay? We got to help each other today. All right. We help each other through this. Okay. Because I just keep on seeing, bearing in mind, this is not based on gender, but what it feels more aligned to. Masculine, I'm seeing much more in a space of having to concentrate or working in a place of concentration. Feminine, I see, and this is what I'm going to say right now. Okay. I just got to distract. Okay. I got to give a little heads up here. I see masculine and hermit energy today, and I see feminine and empress. This could be problematic. All right. I'm just going to put it out there. Okay. Because this is feminine, in some kind of group hug energy. And this is masculine being a little bit like, I need to go to my mind palace. Okay. So everybody listen to me today. Listen to me. I want everyone not to be attentive to what you need, to be attentive as to what others need. Okay. Because I told you, this is today, a day like today, very easy to potentially get your wires crossed in terms of how one is feeling versus how another is feeling. Okay. I'm just going to put that out here right now. Continuing to get clarification between our Temperance card and our Empress energy. Two cards coming out. What do we got here? Yep, four of Pentacles in its upright with our Eight of Cups. So here's what I want to say. What do you need right now? What do you need right now? is what I keep on hearing. What do you need right now is what I'm seeing. Okay, that is the word. All right, that is the word. Because when I see energy like this right now, I keep on I keep on seeing feminine almost being like, I need a hug. And I see masculine being like, I need to go for a walk where nobody is. Like I need to go, like I need to go, like masculine being like, and feminine's going like this. I need a hug, and masculine is like, nothing against you. I need to be alone, right? Like I need to be alone. And so I keep on seeing that like there's something about this here that like, I'm just telling you guys, make sure that you're not just articulating upon what you need, but say, are you available? Like, are you available? Are you available for something here? Okay, because I just keep on seeing it has to do with navigating like a lot of this Gemini energy. So for feminine, and I gotta say, I keep on hearing it has everything how you're, and this is why I keep on seeing it's a bit of a grab bag right now. It has everything to do with how do you feel when I say the words, I've got a lot on my plate. Okay. Is that something that you say with a smile on your face, or is that something that you say with your head in your hands? Because that's effectively what's happening right now in relationality to that statement. And it's very easy right now for someone to be like, oh, yay for you, and another person being like, yay for me. It's like it's a lot of that right now. So make sure that you're not just bringing your needs to others right now. I want you to be saying things like, are you available? Okay, like, are you available for something? It's coming into the space of identifying how we're navigating the feeling of energetic overwhelm, and that's happening right now across all of the frequencies. And I got to tell you right now, and this is just to show you that these are not qualitative places. There's not one good place to be or one bad place to be. I feel like this is best right now for energy and separation. This is like, I keep on seeing this is like some penultimate point in some of these new relationships coming together. Because I just keep on seeing, I keep on hearing that there's a lot of relationships right now that have been growing very slowly. A lot of conversation. A lot of conversation. I told you some of these energies right now, they've been waiting. They've actually slowed down the process of coming into union because of the lessons of the past. This is energy that's almost been apologizing to each other like every step of the way, but they're saying I can't take the risk. I keep on hearing the energy say I can't take the risk of letting the wrong person in, right? And this is a lot of the energy that's is almost like articulating and stumbling over each other, talking about the failure points. Like they're talking, I can see the energy talking about what they're working on fixing. And that's why I keep on hearing right now the reason that these are magician partnerships is because these are the energies that are healing via the recognition of, I keep on hearing an auric contradiction. And what is an auric contradiction? An auric contradiction is someone apologizing for something or saying to another person that they're trying to work on something. And another person says to them and saying, I know I can almost hear the energy saying, I know, we've been talking for a long time and I just don't see it. You know what I mean? Like I can hear the energy going, I just don't see it. But the reason that they're saying, I just don't see it is because they're realigning each other's perception, right? They're realigning each other's perception in relationality to what, like often when we're in unhealthy relationship, it distorts our perception of things, right? So that ability of working into the context of not like they're clarifying each other's gaze is what I keep on hearing. So that's why I keep on seeing it's the auric contradiction that clarifies the gaze in relationality to how one perceives the self, which is helping to remove like the false reality of a self-limiting belief or something that another person was like condemning another for, that another person sees as an energetic gift. So I keep on hearing, like, this is why I keep on hearing it's bittersweet in the best way possible, because this is the energy that's receiving the strong medicine of the clear gaze that is helping them see themselves more clearly. Welcome to restoration. For energy coming into divine union, we've got here the Empress card in combination with the King of Pentacles in its reversal and our Knight of Wands energy in its reversal. So for a lot of the energy, that is coming into divine union right now, that ability of doing so, this is why I keep on seeing, like, this feels like, I keep on hearing, it feels like it feels like it actually, it feels like when I keep on hearing, it feels like window wiping, because for the energy that's coming into divine union, I told you, like, this is how they're removing, removing those boundaries that used to protect them into the space of being able to heal, because this is the energy that says, like, I can hear the energy saying, it's difficult, because this is the energy that's like like they're clearing out their system of the heaviness of what they carried in the past, is what I keep on hearing. Because for a lot of that energy doing that work, right, we talked about this, like, this is what we mean about clearing. um, it's the reason that healing is not linear is because when we're healing, we need to take on different modalities, right? There's a season for everything. And the reason that there's a season for everything is sometimes we need to do one thing to heal. And then sometimes we need to release the thing that we're healing because it's no longer serving the journey of healing, is what I keep on hearing. And so this is why I feel that there's some kind of process here wherein we're seeing that the energy that's coming into divine union is recognizing that the same standards that, like, and I can see the energy going, are you kidding me right now? Like, they're going, the same standard that they had to hold so rigidly in order to find energetic union is now standing in the way of deeper connection. And I see this energy going, like, but and here's the thing, this is why we honor. What are they doing to help heal that and to help clear that? They're honoring the journey of healing, and says, yes, there's a time on our healing journey where I have to pick up a weapon, and then in order to preserve the peace I find finding what is for me, I have to learn to put the weapon down, right? It's a lot of that work that we find as it relates to making peace, by being able to heal from what the trauma of the past required us to maintain in order to find it. While for masculine and feminine energy right now, deep within divine union, clarification right now between our Empress card, our King of Pentacles in its reversal, and our Knight of Wands in its reversal. One card to clarify. Clarification coming through right now with our High Priestess in its reversal. It is always really important when we see the High Priestess in proximity to the Empress, and this is why we're having. I keep on hearing we are having a little bit. I keep on hearing we're getting a little distortion right now in this energy, because the combination of Gemini energy, right? The combination of working with Gemini energy, which is working with the array, versus the force, the unified, like the energy of Virgo, which is all about the fine tuning, right? It's all about the fine tuning into perfection, right? there's a lot of that. I keep on seeing there's a lot of that work that we need that may be coming through right now as it relates to, like, I keep on hearing, like, working on the observation that there's that we are not, and I keep on seeing that we are not energetically perfect, but in the space of not being perfect, we are also blessed, is what I keep on getting. Because again, never are we in more, never are we in more, like never are we so far off the path than when we think that we're perfect, right? Like we're never more off the path than we think we're perfect. Because when we think we're perfect, like the journey is not about being perfect. The journey is recognizing where the work is what I keep on seeing. So that ability of doing so means that there's always something that we want to improve. There's always something that we want to fine tune. But that also, like, it also doesn't create that sense of messiness, right? It doesn't create that sense of, like, take it or leave it kind of energy that often the ego wants to come into, right? Like, so I feel like there's a lot of this, like, I keep on hearing there's a lot of the work to be done right now as it relates. And if you're feeling like this, I want you to kind of think about, like, the idea of, like, blessing the mess, which is like the thought or the aspiration of saying that when we're navigating the journey of the self, we understand that we're never perfect. But even in the way that we work through our own imperfections, we find the higher self. We find the energetic meaning, right? It's not, and that's why I kept on saying now is not the time to move toward away from something via one's own frustration, right? Now is not the time to, like, push something away because you're not feeling energetically inclined, right? And I can see even now that, like, working through a lot of that frustration, it can feel very intense right now. But they're saying the reason it feels intense is because the Virgo moon energy with the Gemini energy, right? Like, it can feel like there's a lot and nothing's perfect, right? So I want you to concentrate. I keep on saying achievable goals. Identify how far you've come. Recognize what that work is. Be intentional with what you're putting change towards. Because I keep on hearing, like, we sometimes, on the other side of our like on the other side of our frustration is the perfect solution, right? But sometimes we have to work through that frustration, in order to, I keep on saying, in order to land upon what it is that we're looking for. And I'm going to say again, if this is having a big impact on you right now, I'm going to say take a page from the recent work that we did during Taurus season. Give yourself a little break. Give yourself a little reward. Okay? Like, give yourself a little treat. Be like, it's okay, right? I can have a little treat. Like, I keep on seeing that something about that, like that ability of being able to kind of, like, encourage the self via something that feels energetically rewarding. Like, it almost says to me, it'll help you through some of this energy right now. Continuing to get clarification between our King of Pentacles, our Knight of Wands in its reversal, and our Page of Swords. One card to clarify, Emperor in its reversal. Okay, so we've got here too, and I just want to point this out right now. We've got the Empress in its upright. We've got the Emperor in its reversal. I don't necessarily see this as a negative thing, because this is what we often see when we're talking towards counterpart energy, right? When we're in alignment, it's sometimes we don't see a lot of activation. But the one thing I keep on seeing that will help right now, and I'm seeing this effectively across all of the frequencies. The observation in recognizing and identifying what one is putting their intention upon. what one is focusing on working through. In this way, I see both masculine and feminine today are very much kind of in that same space. But the thing that we keep on seeing is, especially with the feminine right now being in Empress in its upright, with the High Priestess in its reversal, right? This is a lot of the feminine energy going through a process wherein they're energetically healing, but they're energetically healing via the space of being able to appreciate and celebrate the self in the process, right? And for a lot of the energy of the feminine right now, that ability of doing so, that ability of being energetically constructive, that ability of being able to, I keep on seeing, like process through something, but not be too hard on the self in the process. I see that this is the feminine that's working in the context of being able to forgive themselves as it relates to those moments or opportunities wherein they over worry, right? Like I keep on seeing that there's a lot of that feminine energy that's just coming into that space of allowing for, I keep on seeing, like moving away. I keep on hearing moving away the bad thought for the good thought, right? Like moving away, like not letting oneself get in an unhealthy headspace. For masculine, it feels like today is more, I keep on saying it's more about the journey of being able to, I keep on seeing like this is like masculine, like heavy into hermit energy right now, which is like masculine energy really working on locking in on something. This is masculine energy, like heavy in a space of concentration. And so that's why I keep on seeing right now, make sure if you're communicating with another that you're not just articulating upon one's own needs, but almost asking if someone else has availability for it. Because it's very, I keep on seeing, it's very easy today to get your energetic wires crossed as it relates to like what both masculine and feminine need right now to navigate a feeling of overwhelm, right? Because I almost see that feminine is looking like it's almost in a space. Like I see the feminine energy like kind of working in that space of trying to get out of their head space, right? Feminine's trying to get out of their own head and masculine's trying to get deeper into theirs. Okay. So that's why I keep on saying right now, like make sure that you're having those conversations in relationality to how you're feeling and how those needs need to be met right now. Because there's too much of this energy as it relates to and that's why I keep on hearing healthy relationship, we try to intuit, not just based upon our demands, but what our counterpart needs. And I see that's happening right now in a big way for masculine and feminine energy deep within divine union. For energy deep within divine union, like I keep on seeing, this is like where they're vibing, you know what I mean? Like that's why I keep on hearing the energy saying feelings have nothing to do with it, because they're not operating upon the fact of the feeling of the self. They're being very intuitive in relationality to what the counterpart needs, right? But for some of the energy right now across the other frequencies, now today is not the day to take another person's mood personally, is basically what I'm getting. And this is giving me a little clarification as to why. Continuing to get clarification between our Eight of Cups in its reversal, in combination with our Four of Pentacles, in combination with our High Priestess in its reversal. Can I get one card to clarify, please? Clarification coming through right now with our Star card in its reversal. Whew. And this is what I mean right now. Like this is a lot today. Like this is a lot. And I keep on, I was kind of telling you guys. So what's basically happening, I'm going to work you through it again. Um, you know, Gemini energy in itself can feel very much like a lot happening at once. But what we have happening right now, and I'm going to tell you, if it's any consolation, if this energy is not the vibe for you right now, well, listen, on the 9th, Jupiter is going to be moving into Cancer. Things should ease up. But the thing that we have happening right now is right now, not only do we have Jupiter in Gemini, We got Mercury in Gemini, and Uranus isn't in Gemini, but it's really, really close. And it's moving closer every day. Okay. So there is a huge amount of energy right now in Gemini. And it can feel a lot, right? It can feel a lot like that expansion point. I told you that's why I was saying that eclipse rules kind of apply right now, because it can be expanding, but it's the kind of expansion, right? Like it's like, sometimes we get pulled apart to be put back together again, right? It's a lot of like it's a lot, it's like taffy kind of, it's like energetic taffy. And so I feel that one of the things that we're seeing here is, and I keep on seeing, and this is why I keep on seeing that this is like for energy in separation coming into union right now. This is like I keep on like there's some energy right now that is coming into union that feels, I keep on saying, it's like it feels like it's crossing the Rubicon. Why does it feel like it's crossing the Rubicon? Because I told you there's some energy right now that is coming into healing in separation, these new relationships that are forming as it relates to, I keep on hearing, the auric contradiction, which is again coming to know another person enough, right? These are the energies that have come to know each other well enough that not only are they healing together, but they're clarifying each other's false illusions of the self, right? They're moving those aside. They're helping each other through something in that way. They're helping to dispel something about the self that they may have taken with them out of an unhealthy relationship, that they might have taken with them out of some kind of place of trauma, right? And that often, I keep on hearing, that often comes through the throat chakra in something that one is saying about the self. And then another person clears it by saying, I got to tell you, we've been talking for a while right now. What you keep saying, I'm not seeing, right? Like it's the moment or the modality where another person is saying something about the self that another person sees is not true, right? And that ability of moving it aside, it's like I keep on hearing, like, this is the energy that is coming together, because I told you what is the prioritization point of these magician partnerships. They're dispelling illusions, right? They're coming towards each other in authenticity. And in the moment that they start to say something that feels like it's an illusion of the self, this is the energy that's moving that aside. But it's like, again, I keep on hearing, it's like a negative thought form, right? It's something that isn't healthy. It's something that feels like they're carrying it with them that they could not even see. And there's something in that space, right? The ability of bringing that I keep on hearing, like that conversation of clarity and support. This is the energy that is understanding, like they're seeing something about like how much they changed in a negative way, having to do with the way that they're talking about themselves, that they're building into the space of being able to energetically heal. But that's why I keep on hearing it's restorational, but at the same time it's devastating, right? Because it is restoring by removing the devastation of the self that one might be bringing into being via the way that one is speaking, as it relates to how one is healing from a past connection. While for the energy coming into divine union, clarification between our high priestess in its reversal in combination with our emperor in its reversal, there's that Hierophant card, right? This is the energy that is understanding and recognizing that the healthy relationship is all about being able to see and understand what that force of change is. And I keep on seeing it's not, I keep on hearing it's not like, this is the energy that is understanding the fact that the healing is not linear, that the same thing that they had to work so hard on right, to potentially come into partnership is now something that they're working to clear themselves of, right? Because that is why we say that the path work is non-linear, because when we heal, it's not about just staying in a certain way at every moment. It's identifying what one needs to find, like what one needs to move towards to be able to move there, like to be able to come into that space. So this is why I keep on hearing, like, and this is the, again, I'm not surprised to see this work during Pluto retrograde, right? This is healing intimacy wounds in the process by being able to learn to like put that bout, like to take that boundary down. For energy deep within divine union right now, final card between our star card and its reversal in combination with our Hierophant card, we've got here our nine of swords in its upright. So I want to say it again. You know, the thing about today that I just want to like stress is it's about stress. It's actually, I feel like there's a lot of this conversation that we're seeing that's happening right now as it relates to, I keep on saying, as it relates to working in the context of navigating one's own uncertainty, one's own doubts, one's own fears, right? Because everything I keep on seeing that's happening right now, especially with like all of this Gemini energy, and then with that Virgo energy, right? I'm just going to keep on articulating this. It's very easy in energy like this to fall into a space of overthinking about the things that are not working, right? With Virgo coming in, like Virgo moon, right? That desire for perfection, right? With the Gemini energy, right? Like the space of being like there's too much to deal with, right? There's a lot to deal with. And then that feeling of trying to like identify and recognize like wanting to be perfect. It can sometimes make us feel like we are like, again, look at this. We've got the 10, we start here with the 10 of wands in its upright in combination with our 9 of swords in its upright, right? And then with the high priestess in its reversal, it can sometimes create that feeling of being too hard on ourselves because, right? And this is like operating in the space of our own majesty, right? We have to take some of the lessons that we learned from Taurus season, right? The work is not about being perfect, right? The work is not about being perfect, but we desire and aspire to be perfect. And sometimes, right, when we over focus on the fact that we want to be perfect, it can create that feeling that we're not meeting our own expectations. So if you're feeling that right now, I want you again, I want you to be goal oriented. I want you to like work into that space of energetic renewal, identify and recognize. I told you, go into this season focusing on the manifestation goals. Let the manifestation goals guide you through that. And again, if you're having a little bit of heart like difficulty there, remember, doing the best you can is enough. It's not about perfection. It's about recognizing what it is that you wish that you could do better and moving in accordance to that. So continue, I keep on saying, continue to focus on that right now. And I keep on saying, now is not the time to get overwhelmed in terms of what's not working. Focus on the positive. Focus on what feels like, again, remember, what was the koan that came through yesterday was, um, a problem is a solution waiting to happen, is what I kept on hearing. Remember, and I want you to think about that. If you're seeing problems right now, I want you to say to yourself, a problem is a solution waiting to happen, right? Because that is how we energetically evolve, right? It is the identification point in seeing a problem and being able to articulate and identify what the solution is that allows for the energy of breakthrough. And that's why I said, let this be energy that motivates you to a breakthrough, not a breakdown, right? Because when we're right on the cusp of that energetic solution, it can feel overwhelming. But when we're able to bring, what do you need to bring to situations right now? Empress in its upright, right? Hermit card in its upright. A little compassion for the self, right, can go a long way. So make sure that you're giving yourself the same compassion that you would give another person. That's not selfish. That is learning to heal. Because I keep on seeing that being able to do that is allowing for the context by which new things can occur. But it's something that you have to be very patient and give yourself time. Bottom of the deck, and that's, and again, this is because again I like Hermit here because this is also about like that Saturn transiting into Aries, which says, and again, if there's a lot of painful feelings that are coming up right now, this is how Saturn helps us, because Saturn says, look, I can't take that feeling away, but I guarantee you, if you come with me a little bit further, I'm going to be able to give you something that'll help with that. And that's perspective. Bottom of the deck on this reading, especially with the Three of Wands and its upright. As I mentioned, um, this is like, I keep on hearing, make sure that you're working in a space that feels energetically productive, especially in the relationality to plans, especially in relationality to what it is that you're trying to work upon. I keep on seeing like this is great energy for manifesting. It's great energy for setting plans. But like I said, like there is a lot of that ability potentially getting your wires crossed right now. So like I keep on hearing like double check things. If you feel like somebody, like, make sure if somebody says something that you understand like the intention behind it. Don't I keep on hearing, don't jump to conclusions in this type of energy. Do not get hyperbolic, because there's something about working through that right now. I keep on seeing it's requiring, like, it's too easy. I keep on saying it's too easy with Gemini where it is, and Aries, to say something and be like, I like it, like in the space of another, like I keep on saying, like saying something and another person, like saying something hyperbolically that another person takes literally, is what I keep on seeing. So make sure you're not saying something from a point of anger, or make sure you're not saying something from a point of frustration, right? Make sure that you're talking about like how you feel, instead of projecting what you feel on another person right now. And again, one of the ways that might be helpful with that is like not just telling someone how you feel at this time, but saying like, are you available? Like, are you available? Like telling someone what you're seeking from a conversation, right? Like stating the intentions is what I hear will go a long way in avoiding any confusing conversations today. That is our daily collective read. I want to thank you so much for being here and experiencing it. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, you can book one on my website. Please keep in mind, if you book a private reading with me, it is a two-step process. You have to book the reading and you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you'd like to have that reading. Most importantly, please remember that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox and tell you that I have a very important message that only I can deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my site. So I would encourage you to do it there. Also, a couple of updates before we move into personal readings today. First and foremost, thank you to everyone who attended our recent class on the death card. Our next class will be held on Wednesday, June 11th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be continuing our studies into the tarot with a focus on the Temperance card. If you would like to become a part of our tarot class program, all you need to do is head over to my Substack and become a paid subscriber. Your paid subscription to my Substack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. You will also, as a subscriber, have access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library class archive. Now, it's not necessary to catch up. I'll be doing my best to give you an update on everything we've studied prior to the class beginning. But if you wanted to catch up, now is a great time to join. You'd have a couple of weeks to watch a few of the classes before we have the next class. You will also, as a paid subscriber, have access to a monthly subscriber, have access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library archive. It's not necessary, again, and you can also have access to a one-on-one chat with me to ask any questions you may have in relation to anything we're studying or have learned thus far. And if you become a founding member, not only will you receive a discount on the full year's worth of classes, you will also have access to the full Tarot Church archive. That's access to over 14 hours worth of material in an ever-expanding library. Um, you will also have access to the option of receiving a one-on-one mentorship class with me, where I will meet with you personally to assess where you are on your own personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best of your advantage towards your personal tarot goals going forward. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. Don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience prevent you from joining us in these classes. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber to my Substack, I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings or services. I also post my weekly newsletter there, which will let you know about my in-person events as well as my online live schedule. You will also have access to my mystic meditation articles I post there. I just recently posted one on how to navigate through the energy of this recent Gemini new moon most effectively towards your manifestation goals. We are also going to be, I also have a couple of new options in relationality to offerings for those who would like readings with me privately. On top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my clients seeking a more personalized um, educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal spiritual goals and journey work. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits. Also, for my clients that are seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey on a budget. I'm also very happy to now offer as well dream interpretation readings. You can purchase those per dream or as a series. I would encourage that if you purchase the series, that you start to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly or bi-weekly with that journal and utilize the tarot to understand the key themes and messages coming towards you in the dream space. That said, I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages. And we will do this again tomorrow. That is our daily collective read. We are going to get started on personal readings. Congratulations to Little Vamp. You got our highest gifter for today. Thank you so much. And Heather, you came in second, so you will have an additional card in your subscriber reading. I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as it was reading. Hi there. Thank you for confirmation. And if you want to get on the list for today, you'll be the third person read for. 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more, 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers, links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps: pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. As a Gemini, I concur. I love it. Thank you, Fig. Sin says no table flipping, but I know you want a little vamp. That's why I'm telling you not to. Hi there, Jen. Thank you for confirmation. How you doing today, Mystic Mama? I hope you're having a beautiful day. I feel you, and the feeling comes quick. Yep. Hi there, 810. Good to see you today. It's like putting something on the shelf. It falls, and the next thing, the whole shelf is flipped. Well said, Fig. Exactly. Spill a little water and swipe the entire table. Thank you, Dada, for sharing the live. Always appreciate when you guys share the live. Hi there, Snelly. Seriously, first thing that came to my mind was I need a hug. I know that's, and here's the thing, masculine is much more in hermit mode today, right? It's like how another person navigates feelings of overwhelm right now. Rainbow, I'm learning that giving space after I share something emotional or about my needs is crucial. Tap to claim. Being understanding when others take time to process that. Tap to claim. Beautiful insight. Jen, thank you for the roses. Yep, exactly. And thank you for the gifts, Rainbow. Thank you, Bunnyfish, for the follow. Important for me to be careful about connecting with. Exactly. As well. It sounds like the person doesn't believe or want to see. Hold on, I lost my spot. The good. I mean, like, I want to be conscientious what you mean by the person, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's like, it feels to me like I keep on seeing for a lot of the energy and healing right now, it's the observation on like what the good is, right? And not focusing on the negative, but trying to work on trying to fix something is what I keep on hearing. That's very important. Not everyone's deserving. Lilith, thank you so much for the follow. Absolutely. Clarification's been coming in for me. Glad to hear that, ASIN. It's so important to clarify. I saw you, Heather. Rainbow. I was like sitting there. I was like, oh my God. I knew it. As soon as I started saying it, I knew you were going to start doing that. Happy Pride, everybody. Did you see me laughing? This is the collective. Take what resonates. Absolutely. Waka waka. Exactly. I don't think, hold on a minute. All right. Where were we? I just lost my spot. 1 second. Clarify the Oh, Rainbow. Where'd you go? All right. And Dada, thank you for sharing the live. Well, I lost my spot. 1 sec. And thank you, Lilith, for the follow, dear. All right. Thank you for those gifts as well, Rainbow. I don't think it matters. Exactly. I'm confusing. I'm not. I'm hot cold when it comes to relationships because of my past, but that's what we see. It's okay to be hot and cold right now. Being confusing is clearly limited to which gender likes. Wait, what? That was a twister. I know it was a bit of a twister. I hope that made sense, A10. Yes, I get that very much. Compassion. Yep. Exactly. Continue to work towards understanding. So thoughtful. Continue to work on it. Yep. I know. I got the joke. As women, we are confusing. I mean, listen, we all have the capacity of being confusing. We all have the capacity of being confusing in different ways, right? Feminine energy often has to remember that emotions should not be like puzzle boxes for another person to solve, right? We bring the emotions with their solutions. Masculine is working right now on finding the confidence and able to talk about the fact that it's okay for them to have emotional needs, and being able to articulate through them instead of reacting is how we get them resolved. Yes, for sure. Continuing to work on that. Thank you as well. Over worrying implies there's a limit on worrying. That's my point. That's why you can't over worry, because there's no bottom to worrying, you know? It's exactly why. Betty, your subscription's ending soon if you'd like to renew. I promise there is no limit. Get out of my head. Thank you for receiving these messages, V. Hi there from Florida, Zuzu. And thank you as well. She's always in our head. She pulls from them, I swear. I do my best, guys. I'm just trying to be here to help. Is the guy I was talking to. I'm going to happy to read for you on that, Zuzu, if you'd like to get on the list. Thank you. I'm a lot more nervous about Uranus and Gemini than Jupiter, to be honest. Yeah. It's fair. It's fair. It's a fair concern. It's a fair concern, Heather. I get it. Says the Jupiter and Gemini. Okay, that makes more sense. You think the Rubicon would not be crossed until July? I mean, again, I think that the thing about it is, I think a lot of this is leading up to like Jupiter transiting into Cancer. You know, like I feel like I feel like Jupiter transiting into Cancer is kind of like crossing the Rubicon. You know. Hi there, Bridget. So good to see you, dear. And thank you for sharing the live, Bridget. Always appreciate when you guys share the live. I was just waking up. I wasn't thinking. Too much buffering. It's okay. I'm buffering. Oh, was I buffering during the live? I apologize if that was happening. Buffering. Rainbow, you are on fire today. Buffering the live stream, Slayer. Oh my goodness. You have, the puns. Exquisite. The pun game today is exquisite. Hi there. Again, it went, oh my goodness, that's wild. Did it really go black when I pulled the Nine of Swords? That's intriguing. It didn't go on my end. All the stress. Well, listen, if you guys missed any part of that when I was doing it, you'll be able to catch it in the podcast when it gets posted later today. It'll also be up on the place where we keep the videos and on the place where we keep the photos. Hi there, Bridget, and thank you, Jen, for sharing the live. A reminder that if you want to be perfect, maybe worth looking at when you learned to want that. Exactly. Beautifully said today, Rainbow. And Lauren, thank you so much for becoming a subscriber over on the Tarot Church Library. Good to see you and looking forward to seeing you at our next class. When we want perfection, when high expectations are on us, our issues are regularly identified. Very, very true. And when it feels like we only get noticed or avoid volatility, we walk a very narrow path of perfection. Beautifully said, Heather. Don't bring my crazy out. You can bring your spontaneous out with intention. Fig, be authentic in your energetic self and don't match energy because it may be beneath you. Tap to claim. Always tap to claim. Feeling this today. You're so welcome, Ella. Grand Rising, Elisa. Good to see you today. Grand Rising, Lolo. You're so welcome, Team Milsana. Alexander would like us to know that Yeshua is coming back. So thank you for the update. Thank you for the update. We need to prepare ourselves to meet Yeshua. Yes. Why are you creating fear? Has anything Yeshua ever said come from a construct of fear? I want you to think about what you're saying, and I want you to compare it to anything you've ever read Yeshua said. Did Yeshua ever say you gotta beware? Never did one of Yeshua's messages say beware. So you should be very conscientious of utilizing their name when you speak like that. And you're welcome to stay here, Alexander, so long as you're not trying to spread fear in Yeshua's name. Thank you for being here, and you're welcome. And again, as long as you're nice, you can remain, but don't start being righteous here, please. All right. Yes, get your charcuterie plates ready. Get your charcuterie plates ready. Yes, absolutely. Thank you as well. All right, thank you guys. I just need to recharge today and continue to do so, Fig. More prose, more poems, less proselytizing. I love that, Rainbow. Tap to claim. Thank you so much as well, Fig. Excellent. I continue to run amok. Excellent. Thank you, guys. All right. Continue. Welcome. Good to see you. Flip a little TV tray. I like that. Flip a little TV tray table is a treat. I like that. Oh, thank you so much for being here and receiving these messages, DI. Sometimes the energy tries to show you that you need to slow down. Very true. And Red Moon, thank you for the follow. Hard cleaning, exactly. Euros, your subscription is ending soon if you'd like to renew. Welcome, Jeremiah. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Oh, you got the garage done yesterday. That's amazing, Fig. Good work. Thank you. You're so welcome, Tay. Outpost, thank you for the follow. Sin, Julius Caesar crossed the Rubicon in July. Julius Caesar, there you go. Thank you as well, Fig. Rainbow, I passed out into the void when the Nine of Swords came up. Overloaded live stream. I did know. I thought it was, here's the thing that was wild about that, Rainbow, is I drew the Nine of Swords and you guys it went black. And I'm like, no, I was like sitting there. I was like, it's not so bad. And they're like, you guys are like, no, it went black. Hi there, Ms. Millie. Sloan, good to see you. Hi, I've been listening and being quiet during this time. Listen, Sloan, it's okay, honey. You don't need to communicate here. In whatever capacity you need to be here, that's okay. Like that, but thank you, and I'm glad that you're here, and I hope you're doing well through whatever it is that you're going through, okay? All right, thank you for being here. Hi there, Ms. Millie. Thank you for the update. Thank you. Sloan, you may remember my reading when I was preparing for my partner. Oh, sweetheart. Oh, I'm holding so much space for you right now. I hope things are well. I hope you are well. And I hope that we're here to help in whatever way we can. It was a wonderful reading and just what I needed. I'm so glad to hear that, dear. You're so welcome. Lots of little signs of engagement. Sending you support, Ms. Millie. I slid in here right on time. Absolutely. I miss the collective, so I'm not sure how that re-engagement might line up, but happy. I'm glad to see you here, Ms. Millie. I mean, we're talking a lot here today. Like, here's the thing about it. Like, healthy communication is the name of the game, is what we're seeing. So be mindful of that. All right, friends, we are going to be getting started on personal readings. If you would like to get on the list for today, the list is open 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more, 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers, Binks in my Lio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps, pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. If you wanted to get on the list for today, you'll be the 3rd person read for. It's a great time to get on the list. The list is nice and short. We do angelic guidance here, highest priority messages from spirit. We do life path readings. We do mediumship readings. We do dream readings, dream interpretation readings. We do pet readings. We do animal spirit guide readings. You can see we do love readings. The full list is over on my tree that has Binks in it in my Lio. And when we get to 50K, I will be gifting a reading back to the collective in the form of a random drawing. So make sure you're tapping that screen. We'll get to 100, we'll get to 50K in no time. Also, when you tap the screen, it encourages this live to be pushed out to those who've not received it before. So thank you so much for also helping to share these messages. All right, the first person we're reading for today is Kirby. Is that right? Kimberly. Oh, sorry, Kimberly, if you're here, can you respond in all caps? I am going to read the list off today right now. If anybody is on the list who is not listed, please let me know your name and the first initial where you sent the donation. The list right now is Kimberly and Little Vamp. Okay. Hi there, Kimmy. How are you doing today? Also, make sure that you're recharging. Make sure that you're recharging your heart needs today if you are a member of my team. If you would like to have an animal spirit guide reading when we do the 1-card readings as well. It's okay, Kimmy. It's all right. No problem. All right. I'm looking for the Kimberly that sent the donation in. Looking for the Kimberly that sent the donation in. Second call right now for the Kimberly that sent the donation in. If the Kimberly that did not send the donation in is not here, the next person we're reading for today is Little Vamp. Excellent. No problem, Kimmy. Little Vamp, can you let me know if you'd like a general reading or if you have a specific question you'd like me to answer? Thank you for letting me know, Bridget. I appreciate that. All right. Second call right now for Kimberly or 810. Second call right now for Kimberly or 810. Highest priority. You got it, dear. And if anybody else wants to get on the list right now, you'll be the 2nd person read for. Great time to get on the list. The list is nice and short. 1 second, please. Can I please get highest priority right now for Little Vamp? Highest priority. 4 cards, please. All right. So something I'm seeing that I think is really important has a lot to do right now with, and I gotta stress this, like, I feel like you need to be in some kind of distraction-free zone, is what I'm seeing. You know? Like there's something, it almost feels like there's something that you have been working on that you just like, it's like you just need to like it's so close to being there, but you've got to you've got to like it's giving me a lot of this like darkest before the dawn type of energy here. It's giving me a lot of this I see that you're like you're so close to I'm getting some kind of situation that you're like you're so close to getting something done, but it's like you've pushed all the hard parts of it. Is what I keep on seeing. It's like you pushed all the hard parts of it into like the smallest corner. And it says to me now is the time to to tackle those problems. Like now is the time to just I keep on hearing just address them. You know, it's giving me a lot of this it's giving me a lot of this energy that it almost feels like an observation in terms of what feels like it's easy versus what feels like it's creating a blockage for you. Um And I keep on hearing like you gotta like the word, like your key word right now is tackle. You just gotta tackle it. I know, like I know it feels like you've been avoiding something here, but it's not. I keep on hearing whatever it is that you've been trying to avoid, it's like avoiding it is more difficult than just doing it. Um, and I also see like it's interesting too because it does feel to me like there's something about it that does have some kind of concentration point in relationality. Like it almost feels like a trip. I don't know if there's like a trip connected to this, but it feels like it feels like I would be very conscientious right now if you feel like you're being called to go somewhere, because I keep on hearing like there's something about this that is going to get the ball rolling for you in a big way, you know? Like it feels like it feels like a reintroduction is what I'm getting. It feels almost like some kind of energy of reintroducing yourself to someone or articulating and amplifying um, how much you've changed. And like I keep on hearing like this is like I almost feel like there's something about you doing that feels like there's like an apology, but I feel like it's because like, and I feel like I got like a message from a guide, like healthy energy recognizes when we get carried away to the extent that we haven't had an opportunity to connect with someone is what I keep on seeing. You know, like we don't take like we don't take those things we don't take those things personally. But that's why I keep on seeing that there's something about this that it almost feels like I see you kind of like going on some kind of journey of self-discovery that actually like in the process of doing so helps you like recognize and identify what it is that you're working on or what it is that you're trying to change. Um, so I just want you to be very conscientious about this right now because um, and I want to and that's what I meant. Like I keep on hearing like that's what I meant. Like if you're feeling a lot of frustration right now, don't walk away from things. Go for a walk is what I keep on hearing, right? Don't walk away from something. And I keep on hearing don't walk away from something until you go for a walk. Because that ability, I keep on hearing something about you going for a walk or looking at some kind of like opportunity to go for a walk to clear your head is going to help you like figure out like what it is that you need to be doing differently is what I keep on seeing. Like there's something really important here about navigating that. And I just keep on seeing that something about doing so, it feels like it feels refreshing. It feels restorational. Um, but and that's the thing, like the hardest thing about this energy right now is like not letting your anger get in the way of something that's for you, that's not moving at the speed that you would aspire or desire it to. So that's what I keep on hearing too. Like, remember, a watch pot never boils. So, something about you being productive during this time, something about you giving yourself something to look forward to is potentially going to help you from like relieving your frustration in a way that doesn't feel like it's productive to you. Bottom of the deck on this reading right now. Yeah, especially with the Empress card in its reversal. Um, I just keep on seeing like you've got to stop. Like, I feel like you have to stop being so hard on yourself, is what I'm seeing, you know? Um, and I keep on getting this too. Remember, like, I keep on hearing something about remembering that people pleasing is also like people pleasing. This is important. People pleasing is not just is also comes through in worrying, like in worrying about the fact of about like I keep on seeing like, you know, you know, I keep on hearing there's something I'm sorry, there's a very refined message coming through on this. So I'm trying to like hear it properly. Um People pleasing is also talking down on yourself, is what I keep on hearing, right? People pleasing is also talking down on yourself, is what is all I keep on hearing one of your guides saying. Because I keep on hearing like when you're talking down on yourself, you have to remember that you're taking like that is the sound of the fear of what you are afraid others say about you. So I want you to be very mindful of that. I keep on hearing like you got it. Like I keep on hearing you got a guide. You got like an angelic guide that keeps on going. You got to stop doing that. Is what I keep on hearing. Like they're going like this, which is like it's saying like not saying like you're the like not saying like I'm the worst, but saying like I want to get better at this, right? Like not saying like I like not getting hard on the self and saying like like I keep on hearing like there's no part of you that is terrible. And when you start talking to yourself in the space of feeling like you are, like I keep on hearing, that is the trauma talking, is what I keep on hearing. Like remember, that is that is the trauma talking to you about the fear that you're carrying in relationality to how others feel about you. So none of that. I keep on hearing none of that. Like I keep on hearing like them going like they're literally going like whenever that happens, like you have to like I keep on hearing you gotta stop saying I keep on hearing not I'm the worst, go I'm doing that again. I'm doing it again. Is what I keep on hearing. They're saying, you can't, they're literally saying like they're saying, like you have to catch yourself when you're invalidating yourself to be able to move into the space of being able to heal yourself. So don't let yourself come into that space. Remember, and I keep on hearing like that is also you healing from a need to people please. When like even in the space of like remembering not speaking bad to yourself, but saying, I'm doing the best that I can. And others see that too, is what I keep on hearing. Like instead of saying I'm the worst, like I keep on hearing I'm doing the best that I can. Others see that too. Like that is the energetic blessing. Continue to move forward in that way. And I keep on seeing go ahead and like give yourself that gift, you know? Like I keep on hearing you're exactly where you need to be right now because I keep on seeing you're catching yourself falling into things instead of sinking into them. Thank you so much for having that reading with me, Little Vamp. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. If you would like to get on the list is open. You will be the second person read for. It is 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more, 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers, Binks in my Lio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps, pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in a private reading, and you can book private readings on my site. I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as I was giving that reading, but if you'd like to get on the list right now, now's a great time. You'll be the second person read for. Also, when we get to 50K likes, I will be gifting a reading back to the collective, so make sure you're tapping that screen and we'll get to 50K in no time. All right. Grand Rising, AR. Hope you're having a beautiful day. And